Well, it's Thursday night. That means we've got the pleasure of the company of one Samgele Maseko will explain and verify.
Indeed, Timbegile, this side of the country, we're not looking at home burglaries. We're looking at the expropriation of logos of political parties without expropriation. The latest being Floyd Shivambu's new Africa Mayuya movement is already under scrutiny, with critics saying its logo looks a little too close to the economic freedom fighters. Shivambu insists it's different, but the row echoes a long history of disputes over names, colors, symbols in South African politics. Registering a political party with the IEC requires a distinct logo and name. It's not an easy task in a country with 472 registered parties. With so many players, some duplication is inevitable, especially as new parties join the rush to prepare for the 2026 local government elections. Still, when new parties promise change, voters expect fresh ideas and fresh branding. Yet, time and again, their logos and names end up looking a little too close to the big players, as the Africa Mayuya movement now finds itself accused against the economic freedom fighters. As you see, Tembegile, Africa Mayuya movement, economic freedom fighters. If you look at this particular fist and the spear, and you go to the Africa Mayuya one, the fist and also the spear, similar to the economic freedom fighters, which was also similar to that of other political formations, but this was distinctly economic freedom fighters. Then you look at the emblem of the African continent, the emblem of the African continent, that side as well. The star on the economic freedom fighters, the star just above purple as well on Floyd Shivambu's new political vehicle. Just shows you the similarities that are there. There's been no appetite as yet for any court litigation from the economic freedom fighters. I'm not seeing the leadership of the EFF commenting much on this particular logo of Floyd Shivambu's new political vehicle, Tembegile.
But to what extent do you think any of them will care? Because we know political party identity is a big thing in South Africa, right? You want to stand out, from the image itself to policy, to where you stand in terms of even ideology. How much does this matter?
It does matter a little bit. For instance, if you look at Shivambu's logo with its purple border, clenched fist and spear pen, drew instant comparisons to the economic freedom fighters' star and the spear. He pushed back, claiming that the design of the EFF logo was designed by himself and that the Africa Mayuya movement's pen represents the fusion of intellectual struggle and revolutionary action. That is Nico Shivambu. But former EFF member Ngobane Ndongana disputes that, saying the logo was a team effort of Floyd Shivambu and Julius Malema. This skirmish is still in the early rounds. Neither side has yet shown the appetite of IEC battles or court processes, but no party that had no problem marching straight to court was the ANC. The ANC had a straight problem with the party of former President Jacob Zuma, that is Umkhonto weSizwe. For instance, if you look at this current court litigation, MK party versus MK-MVA of the African National Congress, MK-MVA was obviously disbanded, and there was that joint conference of MK-MVA and the ANC's other Umkhonto weSizwe. If you look at Umkhonto weSizwe of Jacob Zuma and Umkhonto weSizwe of the African National Congress that is currently in court litigation, they do look very similar. This particular case is currently at the Supreme Court of Appeals that is being appealed by the African National Congress, saying that Umkhonto weSizwe is a heritage of the African National Congress, but it was not watermarked by the ANC, and it was not the intellectual property, the IP.
There's no trademark on it.
There's no trade. There is a trademark on it, but it's a separate company, not of the African National Congress. So that is the contentious litigation issue that will also have to be ventilated at the Supreme Court of Appeals. You do know that Dalimpofu won that particular case in Pietermaritzburg. Last time it was there, I remember Advocate Gwazim Shengu was also representing the African National Congress. He is also a current PTT member of the ANC in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. So the ANC has been pretty much fighting for its political heritage, not only with Umkhonto weSizwe, but they also did the same when it came to the Congress of the People, when COPE was formed, saying that Congress of the People is a heritage of the African National Congress, which is ultimately where the Freedom Charter was adopted, Thembekile. But the ANC has argued that the MK party name echoes the ANC's former armed wing, and that the MK party's warrior logo was too close to the MKMVA's trademarked emblem. The KZN High Court dismissed the case, saying it belonged with the IEC. By May 2024, the MK party was still in court but contested with the IEC's approval, marking its debut with 58 seats in parliament. The ANC has since taken the fight to the Supreme Court of Appeal, while the MK party continues to use this particular logo. Not every party fancies long and expensive court battles. Some disputes remain with the IEC, where rulings can make or break newcomers within the political space of politics, Thembekile. For instance, if you look at the Economic Liberation Forum, ELF, versus the Economic Freedom Fighters. The Economic Freedom Fighters Liberators Forum is one example. In 2024, the IEC rejected its registration after the EFF objected, arguing the branding was too similar. ELF pushed back, insisting their logo was different. It had a map, a star, and a road, and even a rope. And that was essentially, if you look there, Thembekile, those particular examples, the road on the ELF that they are expressing about, and the star there as well, and also other features such as a map. You come to the Economic Freedom Fighters, but the IEC obviously rejected this particular application, which the EFF had objected to.
The one thing I'm learning is that South Africa has a political fascination with spears. Does it all just come down at this point to the size of the spear?
I don't know if it comes down to the size of the spear, but if you look at the ELF, it eventually rebranded because it was in contravention of the IEC. With that branding with gold coloring and a new name, the party was registered in March 2024, just 2 months before the general elections. This is proof that in politics, sometimes it's clear and quicker to change colors than to fight over them. And ELF wasn't alone in learning that particular lesson. Herman Mashaba's Action SA also ran into some trouble against a lesser known but persistent party of action. That was some of the issues that particular party was facing with Action SA. Back in 2020, the IEC paused Action SA's registration, ruling that its logo was too close to that of the Party of Action. Both drew inspiration from the national flag, but because the Party of Action got theirs first, Mashaba's new party was blocked. That was Herman Mashaba back in those particular days when they were registering during COVID-19, where their launch was also during that particular period. Instead of going to war, Herman Mashaba simply changed colors. Action SA switched to green and white and got registered in 2020 ahead of the 2021 local government elections. Copying the identity of a bigger party can give smaller ones quick recognition or confuse voters. Some overlaps may be innocent, but others deliberate. The IEC decides if voters can be misled, while the courts handle trademarks. And that's easier said than done, and can be a costly exercise for smaller parties who take the legal route. Whether these battles really sway voters is unclear. For all the drama over the spears and the color schemes, South Africans seem able to tell parties apart from the ballot. The Africa Mayubuye movement is just the latest in the identity crossfire. And if history is a guide, logo battles won't end here. Not while elections remain the ultimate branding contest, Thembekile. Elections are the ultimate branding contest. Just recently, we had boy Mamabulo.
Right.
Saying Mandela for Mandela Party, if I'm not mistaken, when she was trying to register a party using the name of the former head of state, late President Nelson Mandela.
Who, by the way, interesting you mentioned Madiba, because wasn't there a fight between the ANC and the DA over the use of his image in messaging a few elections ago?
There was that particular conflict between the Democratic Alliance and the ANC a few years ago. But one also that comes to mind, Thembekile, was a battle that I'm just trying to pinpoint where it actually emanated from, where political parties were arguing over branding and registrations within a particular period, where the ANC or as the Congress...
ANC and AIC, was it?
ANC and AIC.
Yes.
That's the one I wanted to speak about in Matatiel, where the AIC was too close to the ANC branding or logo on the ballot paper, and a number of elderly people supposedly would vote for AIC and not for ANC, confusing the two because of the similarities between the colors and the name, which forced the ANC to go to object to the IEC to change the positioning of both the AIC and the African National Congress on the ballot paper, Temegile. So this battle of logos is indeed entrenched in South African politics for a period of time.
And that's how we end Explain and Verify. To be clear, that's not Mzwandile Beja, that's Samkele Masego. He's back with Explain and Verify next Thursday in the 7 o'clock hour of The Full View. When we come back, we'll give you a sense of what to expect when Clement Manyetela brings you Face the Nation at 8 p.m.